Welcome everybody to Den Excelsior, the Mostly Marvel show episode.
It's a podcast. It's a podcast.
We've
Unless
had
you'd like,
multiple
unless you'd like me to
conversations
change
about
the title of the show.
I would like to stay a podcast
Okay,
and
cool.
not cater to our live viewers.
Cool.
Podcast. I'm your host Ricky. With me as always, Dennis.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. I feel like it's been a while. It's only been a week.
It's been 8 days.
Yeah, we're breaking schedule.
We're breaking schedule a little bit, but we break schedule a lot on this show. It's okay. Like I said, that's the beauty of it being a podcast, right? Is that everybody's going to listen to it after the fact, anyways. If you're nice enough to show up for our live shows, that's cool. But we may ignore you if you're racist.
I think, yeah.
Fair enough.
You say may as if there's a caveat where we wouldn't ignore the racist.
I mean, if it's funny.
All right.
Never say never. Never say never. Not encouraging it though. Definitely not encouraging that behavior. We're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 later tonight. I'm pretty excited. We're back on this MCU train. We're trying to knock out all the ones that we never talked about on this show before we started this show.
Like 5 more?
8. There are 8 more. But I will say this.
They do get better.
There's a lot of bangers from starting today.
Yeah.
I mean, do you consider Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 a banger?
No.
Really? Okay, well, I do. I consider it a banger. I consider it the first of about 4 or 5 bangers in a row.
Do you consider Captain Marvel a banger?
No, but we stopped before Captain Marvel. We stopped before that. Ant-Man and the Wasp is where it shits the bed.
We haven't done Captain Marvel.
Correct, because that's after Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
We're gonna ride this train all the way to Infinity War with good movies, in my opinion. As a reminder, it's Guardians 2, then Spider-Man Homecoming, then Thor Ragnarok, then Black Panther, then Infinity War.
Yeah, that's a good streak.
It's a great streak. It's probably I think part of the fun of watching these movies now is not just appreciating them for how good they are, but also remembering what it felt like to watch them for the first time. I don't know about you, but that's I can't help it when, when I hear I'm Mary Poppins, y'all, I can't help but think of looking at my wife in the theater at that moment.
You seem to have had a negative turn on the in-theater movie experience over the past couple of years.
I don't think that it has to do with the in-theater movie experience. I think it has to do with the quality of the movies. I've watched great movies in theaters.
I think in particular what you're saying about MCU movies specifically, I think those moments in the theaters are unique unto themselves. Do you see a future where you're not going to the movies to see the MCU stuff? You're just waiting.
I mean, there's always the potential for it, you know what I mean? But I have no reason to stop doing it right now. But I think that question's weirdly loaded because we saw Madam Web in the theaters, dude. So what are you talking about? That's Madam Web's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. That movie is terrible. And I saw that.
Was it a fun in-theater experience?
It was fun, not because it was in theater. It was fun because I sat with Ian and we were super wasted. That's why it was fun. It doesn't matter that it's in a theater. To me, that's not what makes a movie special. It's who you're with when you're watching it.
But yeah, I would factor that is part of that equation, though. I think that's what I'm getting at.
Who you're with.
Who I'm with, and if I saw it in the theater or not.
Oh.
There's unique qualities that brings.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, that's not a hill like to die on. I mean, like it's just an obvious statement. Yes, going to the theater is an experience unto itself. I'm not debating that. I feel like you're trying to argue with me about that.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just asking.
But you're the one who put me on blast saying, I feel like you've been negative about the movie theater experience. I think I'm negative about the idea that
I think after 200 episodes, I can notice a trend in your sentiment.
I think I'm resentful of the fact that the prices keep going up, just like I am with everything in this world. And the quality doesn't keep going up with it. You know, it's not a commensurate, it's not a proportionate growth or, you know, increase in things. So we're seeing things be more expensive, but we're seeing the quality be worse. Is that not true?
I mean, we can get into like how you're defining
quality. I mean, but why don't we just like rip the Band-Aid off? And Ricky, since we got to talk about we've been nerding out on, why don't you tell me about your experience watching Tron Ares?
I haven't watched it.
What?
Yeah.
But you're the Tron guy.
I am the Tron guy. So I wanted to watch it with Selena. Hey, so we've been very busy these past couple weeks.
Okay.
So we haven't had a chance to like watch them. We just watched the first Tron movie this week. She had never seen it. I have not seen it probably like in 15 years, and oh man, that movie's good. I think that's a solid movie. It's kind of crazy what they're doing at the time.
I forgot how crazy. It's super crazy.
I forgot how religious that movie gets sometimes, like with like the user program sentiment.
Yeah, that movie's amazing. The first Tron is
it's basically a cyber holy war.
Yes, that's exactly what that is.
I'm excited to watch Legacy with her. But I think I do want to have the in theater experience with Ares. So I know time's running out because that movie's not doing so great.
That movie has lost $110 million for Disney so far, I think.
I think the number is not quite there, but it's not a winner.
It's definitely not a winner.
I mean, to be fair, none of the Tron movies are winners in the box office.
True, but the first one's a cult classic.
Yeah, it took 30 years to get another one.
So, yeah, that's why it's a cult classic. It still ended up being a profitable experience for Disney. You know?
I know everything that happens in that movie.
Okay.
So I will see it when I see it. I do want to see it in IMAX. Yeah, I mean the Jared Leto-ness of it all makes it weird. Like it's also like there's a different Tron script out there for what would be a sequel to Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of scrapped and changed into what is Tron Ares. And I think without spoilers, Ares is a sequel to Tron, but not necessarily Tron Legacy. And I think I take issue with that.
I don't take issue with that because I do not like Tron Legacy. I think that movie's terrible. I think that movie does a poor job of paying tribute to the original Tron.
But has probably one of the best soundtracks of all time.
Also debatable.
Best soundtrack.
I think if we want to talk about the best soundtracks of all time, we watched a movie this week that probably has one of the best soundtracks.
Okay, the best original scores of all time.
I'm still not willing to concede on that one either, but I understand that you are a Daft Punk fan.
I would say Guardians 1 had a better score.
Yeah, I said one of. Yeah. I'm not sure if I agree on Guardians 1 versus 2, but we'll talk about that later. It's fine. But I am shocked to hear that you did not watch Tron Ares in theaters.
It's kind of hard going to the movie. Back to like your point. I do want to see the Smashing Machine. I do want to see Begonia in the theaters, and it's like, okay, like you start doing the math, not necessarily like the cost to go, but just like the time, right? It's like, all right, okay, I get off work at 5. I need to see a 7 o'clock showing. If I see a 7 o'clock showing, then I gotta go to bed right after. Like you start, when you start adulting, it's it's a little tricky to make it to the theater.
Well, I saw Black Phone 2 in theaters on Friday.
How was the return of the grabber?
It was not good. I will say this. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a bad grabber movie. I think if
there's only two grabber movies,
yeah, I know. The first one's a good one. The second one's not. I think that the trick with Black Phone, for mild spoilers, Black Phone is a underdog story about this kid who gets kidnapped by a gross man who's a child murderer, probably a pedophile. According to the creators, he's most definitely a pedophile as well. Gross character, but like the cool trick in the movie is there's a phone that's supposedly not connected. Phone. It's a black phone, not connected to anything, and it calls this kid when he's in this dungeon, and it's the ghosts of all the previous victims that he's killed, and they basically are they're rooting for him. They're trying to help him, give him the tools he needs to survive, right?
It's a horror movie roguelike.
Yeah, it's not a roguelike so much because he's not like failing at, like so much as gaining.
I guess it's more like Demon Souls. He's seeing the failed paths.
Yeah, sure. But it's like Rocky, right? It's like you're rooting for the guy that should not, or the kid that should not win this fight. And unlike Rocky, he does win this fight. It's a movie
that I didn't think I needed more of.
Well, I would agree that I didn't necessarily need more of the kids, but I do feel like there's like no backstory to the grabber. You don't get to know anything about him other than he has a brother that lives upstairs that is clueless to everything, right? So I was excited when they announced the sequel. I mean, they announced it before I watched it, but I was excited at the idea of a sequel because I wanted to know more about the grabber. And make no mistake, this movie does give you that. It gives you that. Unfortunately, it gives you a lot more of the same protagonists too. So the kid and his sister, I shouldn't say unfortunately, they're the best part of the movie. They're
grabbed again.
They don't get grabbed again, and that's kind of the problem. So this movie is like kind of the sequel, again, spoiler warning, is kind of a hybrid of Nightmare on Elm Street and Frequency. In that, like in this movie, the daughter is more center stage because she is a little bit clairvoyant or something like that, and she starts receiving phone calls in her dreams from her mother from the past. So you ever seen Frequency?
It sounds familiar.
I think it's Jim Caviezel and Dennis Quaid, but it's like he's got a CB radio, and for some reason he's found a frequency where he's able to talk to his younger now dead father, and help him solve his death, like in real time. It's weird, but anyways, so it's got that aspect to it, but then it's also got a Nightmare on Elm Street aspect in that if you accept that there's ghosts in the first movie, then obviously the grabber should be allowed to be a supernatural being now that he's dead, right? The problem with it,
the grabber.
What?
Fortnite's the grabber.
Yes, the Fortnite grabber is the one that has ice all over him because he reappears at a winter camp that he used to work with back in the 50s or 60s, something like that. And you find out his first victims are there, and he still holds power in this world because his original victims were never found. And so he kind of is trying to lure. He's trying to lure the kids, like the protagonist from the first movie, there so that he can, exert his power over them. The problem I have with this movie is, by all rights, if you're a serial killer in real life and you somehow get the magical ability to come back from the dead and invade people's dreams and do the same rules as Nightmare on Elm Street, where if you harm them in the dream, they experience it in real life too, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has all these advantages going for him. You want to know what his body count is in the second movie?
2? None?
0. The grabber kills 0
He does
people.
not grab. Spoilers.
He kills
There's no grabbing in the
0
grabber movie.
He kills 0 people in the second movie.
Do people die in that movie though?
They show flashbacks of the original kids that he killed back in the day. So I'm saying the living grabber has a much better body count.
That's just false advertisement.
Is it not? Is it also, does it not make him also the worst franchise serial killer ever?
If you're going by body count, then yeah.
If
what was the
he got a 0 body count in this movie.
What was the other Ethan Hawke scary movie?
He's got several. He's got The Purge.
He's in The Purge.
He's also got Sinister.
That I like Sinister.
The sequel is terrible because he's not in it. So Saving Grace, again, at least Ethan Hawke is in this one. I think
Sinister was his first scary movie.
No, The Purge came out before Sinister, I think.
No.
The Purge has been around.
So has Sinister.
Look it up.
All right. Talk for a minute.
Okay. But yeah, so I was excited because I like Ethan Hawke and I love his movies and I really wanted to see him in this. I honestly do think they kind of did a Mandalorian on him.
The Purge is 2013. Sinister is 2012.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Pretty close. But I think they Mandalorianed him because I don't think he's actually physically in the movie. I think he's the voice actor of the grabber this time.
You don't see him in this.
You see the top of his face. Like they throughout the movie, they kind of wreck his face more and more, his supernatural face. And I think it's so that eventually, if they do more movies, they can just like completely distance themselves from Ethan Hawke. You know what I mean? Like, and they can just have a thing like Jason Voorhees, where it's just hamburger face.
Jasify him.
Yeah, but the mask he wears this time around, it's the same mask as the first movie, but this time around, like it supernaturally changes the faces like on the fly, which is kind of cool because it's kind of like those gesture masks, you know, like the smiling and the frown. So he goes from smiling to frown to no mouth at all throughout the movie, and it's pretty cool. There are things I really love about the movie, but I cannot condone a horror movie with a supernatural Freddy Krueger-like serial killer that kills 0 people. 0. I'm sorry for everybody I spoiled that movie for, or I saved you money. I don't know. The performances from the kids are great though. Like those kids are growing up to be fantastic actors. I'm proud of them.
Don't see The Grabber, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know what else? What I saw this weekend? I saw this weekend? I went to go see Penn and Teller.
Nice.
They
were Las Vegas or they were somewhere else?
They did a show here in Los Angeles as part of their 50th anniversary tour.
Nice.
YouTube Theater. They're actually my first magic show. Okay. I am very pissed.
You mean this one that you just saw, or
this one that I just saw?
That was your first magic show ever.
Yeah. Everyone in my family, including Selena, has been to the Magic Castle now, and I have not been to the Magic Castle. So I do enjoy magic.
I've been like multiple times. Right?
I know you've been. I know. Everyone that I know has been multiple times. I have not been. Okay. No, but they were in town.
If you wanted to go, I could probably get you in.
I've been dying to go to the Magic Castle.
Okay, cool. When's your 40th birthday?
Oh God. Oh wait, sure. If you lock me in now, I'm in.
All right.
So 50th anniversary show. We did see him at Comic-Con. It was kind of neat to see him perform. They did do the trick that they did at Comic-Con, But
That was
in
you and
terms of
I
the
saw that together,
Mhm.
huh? Yeah, yeah.
In terms of the show, I thought it was really neat that mostly everything, probably like 90% of it was new stuff. So they weren't just running through the hits.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just really cool to see there. I think what I like about them is they're very explicitly kind of telling you that they're not doing magic, and they're very open about removing
Yeah.
the fanfare, but that doesn't make it any less impressive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like even if you're not a fan of magic, I felt that like they explain what they're doing so well that it's impressive. That makes sense. Yeah.
I mean,
So
I've seen them multiple times too,
yeah.
so yes, it makes sense. I
Um,
understand what you're saying.
their finale was pretty freaking unique,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one of those things where like I kind of want to you kind of have to go see the show again to set yourself up to understand like what exactly they did. Is that is magic spoilers like a thing here? Can I spoil the magic?
I mean, you're not supposed to spoil magic, so but you know, I can't stop you from spoiling magic.
Would you be upset if I spoil the trick or what the
It
trick is?
it it may impact your ability to get invited to the Magic Castle. Just say
Okay. Okay. I won't disclose what the nature of the trick that they did, but it was cool.
good. I'm glad you had fun, and I'm
Yeah.
glad I now know how to stop you from spoiling things.
Yeah, if you hold that carrot, I will do anything you say.
It took me too long to figure this out. That's
You didn't
amazing.
know this?
I didn't know that was your ultimate desire is to go to the Magic Castle.
I think it's once I want to be invited because like you can go if you stay at the hotel. Like that's part of the thing. You get an invite.
I've never
Or like,
stayed at the hotel.
but I want to like.
I've only ever been a guest.
Yeah, I want to be a guest.
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy a suit. I'll buy another suit for that, just for that occasion.
All right, good to know. Good to know.
What else? What else? I feel like I'm missing something else I did this weekend. I got more Marvel hip hop comics.
Okay.
It's addictive. I need to stop. And yeah, that's about it.
Cool. I've been doing a lot of art. I made in the same spirit of that. I've been making toy photos of Spider-Man and friends skateboarding, doing
Like
cool tricks.
Spider-Man and those friends, or Spider-Man and just other characters.
Like other characters.
Okay.
Like Gwen and Miles.
Oh.
You know. I mean, in fairness, Gwen and Miles are to a whole other generation his amazing friends. That is literally a cartoon for some kids. But I also did the Night Thrasher because he is actually a Marvel, the Marvel character that skateboards. I guess Rocket Racer does too. Huh? They don't have a Rocket Racer figure yet. But yeah, I've been making those. It was kind of for an event. It started out as for an event. I submitted art to a competition that's supporting. It's a juried competition that's promoting. The theme of it is called Beyond Boundaries, and so every artist is supposed to be implementing a technique that they've never used before. And the fun thing I chose to do with this series of figures is I used Marvel's Spider-Man on PS5 as my background. So I actually manipulated the background in real time.
Oh, like the city
to choose exactly the background that fit the poses.
Like a mini volume.
Yeah, it was like a mini volume. It's exactly what it was. And so like I could tweak, like I liked the poses, you know what I mean? So the poses were fine. And then I would just tilt the camera or adjust the, like use photo mode in Spider-Man to make the background perfectly frame my toy the way I wanted it to do. It's really cool. But I've got magnets on the way for those. And then the other thing I did is I started making more zines because I'm actually going to be part of the Oceanside Zine Fest in 2 weeks, 2 weeks and some change. November 8th, I believe.
You're just giving them away. They're not selling the zines, right?
Oh, you sell zines? Yeah. Oh, those ones that I gave away at Comic-Con, I haven't given away in years. I sell them now.
Mhm.
But yeah, I've been making cooler ones that are less about, because like I've been encouraged to like, my zines are like overdoing it, right? Like my zines are extra. Like
Are they?
most,
I'm
yeah,
not trying to
most.
knock the zines. I'm trying to understand the zines.
The point of a zine is to be like more grassroots, like and like low budget and like simple and like not necessarily telling a full-on comic book story with panels and stuff like that. So like for example, my wife, one of her most popular zines is an interactive zine. It's called Butts on Things, and she literally just draws different pictures on each page and encourages you to add a butt to it. And so you just draw the butt that you want on each page. And so like really a lot of zines are like that, where maybe some zines are just a collection of people's art,
Mhm.
like a little art book, stuff like that. Like I'm writing full on
When does a
stories,
zine not become a zine anymore? Like, what's like the threshold?
I mean, you could argue that mine are more mini comics than zines because of the production value of them. But
Like, I guess like how regulated are like? Do you have to use this kind of paper? Or use this kind of ink? Or
I mean, I promise you, I'm probably breaking all of the conventions because I'd make everything nicer than it should be. But this time around, I decided to try and make a zine that was a little bit more like simple. And so you remember the videos that I used to make of like when I used to do toy videos, I took an entire set of those the pictures from those videos, and I collected them into one volume of a zine. So, and I made them. They look really beautiful. They're just the white hot pictures, and I think that looks cool because it kind of blends right into the background of the paper. You know what I mean? And so I just collected those, and I really like that. And I'm probably going to start doing it with other people. I might be making other types of zines that I don't want to spoil yet. But I'm just trying to throw out a bunch of different things and see what sticks at the Zine Fest in 2 weeks.
is there like a peak zine meta? Like, what's
We'd have to have Lindsay on the show to talk about the peak zine meta. I'm not in any way an expert. I defer to her for all expertise on zines. Yeah, I'm a novice. Well, I'm more than a novice because I like I said, I go extra. Um, Fully produced toy photos for every frame. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of
Oh
work.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what,
yeah.
yeah. So that's why I'm just trying to like use my existing art to create more types of zines that are available. Yeah, but yeah, it's been art heavy, and the cool thing about doing a lot of art lately is it allows me to continue my marathon of horror movies because I can just have it on in the background. So I have watched way more than 22 horror movies as of today, this month. Way more. Probably more like 35. Yeah.
Any other standouts? Oh, we finished
Mm,
Malcolm. We just finished Malcolm in the Middle, by the way.
oh my gosh.
That was finally we got through all 6 seasons of that show.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, you know what? Uh, I said Terrified last week, huh? That
Yeah.
was, yeah, that's probably the biggest standout so far. I have not watched a lot of good movies this week, but I have been rewatching. I started rewatching The Blob today from 1988.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool movie. I kind of forgot. Yeah,
Apparently, GDT's Frankenstein is pretty amazing. What
that's
everyone's
in a
been
couple
saying.
weeks, right? November.
I think it's like next week.
Oh man, I watched I Know What You Did Last Summer last
The
week when it came
sequel
out. Ooh,
or
that's a
the
stinker.
reboot.
Yeah, it's a bad movie.
I've read that it doesn't like really need to connect to the other ones.
It connects a lot to the other ones. Like, well, to the first one.
Okay,
It connects a lot to the first one.
it's like
A
4
little bit
months.
to the second one. Yeah. It's just not like, I just don't think that those movies are clever enough to require connecting, I
I'll
guess.
say like like slasher stuff like that, or stuff like The Conjuring doesn't like interest me in terms of horror.
What's
Like
your horror then?
I think more like I think supernatural, but more like uh will fuck you up. Uh, it's not like in a weird way,
Oh,
like Uncut Gems. It's not a horror movie per se, but that elicits a physical state in your body, like a stressful state. You know what I mean?
I
And
I
and
get what you like.
and
You like thrillers.
I guess a little thrilly, yeah,
Yeah.
thrillers.
You know what? I just remembered one, a standout. Like I had to look through my list. It's, you got to understand, it's so many. Like I've
You,
probably watched like 2 or 3 today. Like, you know what I mean?
you ever
And
do Letterbox or no?
what?
You ever do like
Oh,
Letterbox?
no, I know I should. I really should.
No, you should.
But the one that stood out the most this week, I finally watched Don't Breathe.
Oh yeah. What's the
Stephen Lang.
Yeah, Avatar guy.
You haven't seen it?
I've seen it. That's
Oh,
an
you've
old
seen
movie.
it?
Yeah.
2013. Yeah.
Yeah, he's blind. Blind.
Oh,
Are they robbers breaking in to a blind
yes.
guy's house? Yeah.
Yes.
And then he's like has all this crazy shit in his house.
Yes, he has a pregnant woman down in his basement that he impregnated with a turkey baster.
Yeah. I saw that movie on a date.
Wow.
So
Wow. Okay.
I'm pretty sure at a drive-in theater.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing. I'm proud of you for pulling that off. I hope it wasn't.
I mean, I didn't know what. Look, you want to talk about bad date movies? In high school, I watched The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo with my girlfriend and her parents.
Yeah, I think you told me that story before. You definitely have.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a fun dinner conversation.
Well, I don't want to take up the whole conversation because we got some other stuff to talk about. But do we have any news you want to get into before we do that?
I don't have news, but we never talked about Wonder Man. We just move right. We never did.
Oh, you decided to skip it last week, huh? Because, no, we did a little bit, didn't we? Like, not even a little bit. I thought we asked Travis before. Maybe it was before the show.
Yeah.
If he watched the trailer, okay.
Or
I like the trailer.
Yeah.
I like the trailer. I am TBD on how excited I should be for this movie or the show.
Where in the Marvel superhero pantheon, where's like a Wonder Man in terms of overall importance?
In the comic books, he's pretty important because he's like integral to the creation of Vision.
Mm-hmm.
But we've all seen, we're way past that. He is no longer in any way a component of Vision. So, you know what I mean? Like I can't help but think that the movies have this way of influencing the comics in that, like, I can't really be hyped for Wonder Man now as a show yet because I don't understand how he fits in anymore.
Like,
right? Does that make sense?
Does MCU Wonder Man need to just do Wonder Man things, or is the lore behind the Wonder Man
I think the lore was more important than what he could do. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I think a lot of fans are probably, at least myself, is just like, like, how does he matter now?
He's tied with like the Bova shit and
it's kind of that was more Wanda, but it's kind of like this. It's kind of like, like, what did Wonder Gore matter to Multiverse of Madness? right? It really didn't matter. It was just a place that was there. But like, you know, in the comics, it's where the High Evolutionary lived on Earth. It was like his secret hideout on Earth, and he built all these crazy people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not knocking the MCU at all for choosing to be different. I'm just and that's why I think, you know, you could look at it as another way is Wonder Man is unshackled, right? Like he can actually defy all expectations by being anything they want him to be now. And hopefully they'll still find a way to, like, I mean, everybody knows, like, the most important thing about Wonder Man, besides him being a part of Vision, is he's an actor who's also a superhero. And they're clearly doing that, you know what I mean? So, like, I can't be mad at it. So, whatever. It's fine. Like, but yeah, I think at the end of the day, he is one of the oldest Avengers after the first original team. So like, you know, I think for if we're collecting Avengers, you know, we got to get.
They bought Wonder Man, or they Marvel didn't create Wonder Man, or am I wrong there?
No,
something they acquired.
No, he's a Marvel comic. Yeah, he's a Marvel creation. You might be thinking of something else, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I like Yaya. That's my thing. Like, I think that actor is amazing. And so
Black Manta and Dr. Manhattan.
I think he's amazing in everything except the Aquaman movies. But you know,
the Black Manta part of the second Aquaman is not the problem with that movie. I'll die on the hill.
It's also not helping that movie either.
I mean, he looked like Black Manta. He had the pants.
I don't think that's Yaya helping though. Like, I think that's the wardrobe people covering everything that we would want to see about Yaya. Yeah.
Fair.
Okay. If that's the only news we got, we talked about the Marvel Legends Inhumans toys, right? Like, those are okay, cool.
Well, London MCM Fest is coming up, so there should be another stream.
Yeah. By the way, you know, they let me pre-order that Super Scroll at New York Comic Con on Friday, and I got him on Monday. Like, that was unexpected. Like, sorry, I got him the Monday after New York Comic Con. That was 2 weeks ago, right?
They had him ready.
They had him ready.
I mean, to be fair, they did say they were going to have more. They are taking that one to London too, so I'm assuming they have.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Plenty.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. Let's do it. Let's go.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, directed by James Gunn, starring Chris Pratt's always as Saldana, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, Kurt Russell, Palm Clementieff.
You said Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, I forget Sylvester Stallone's in there.
Karen Gillan,
Michael Rooker.
Elizabeth Debicki.
I do like Elizabeth Debicki. You get the shout out.
She's in this movie as well. Michelle Yeoh, Ving Rhames.
I mean, Miley Cyrus.
Oh
man.
Michael Rosenbaum.
Yep.
This movie has a pretty stacked cast. And Kurt Russell. Did you say Kurt Russell?
I did say Kurt Russell.
Okay, cool. I'm just making sure. Sorry, I forgive. Apologies. This movie is a 2017 sequel to the original, which was a huge success for Disney and Marvel, right? Because they took some really no-name ragtag group of characters, so when I say no name, I mean no brand recognition outside of like a very, very niche group of people who read the comics. And even then, the iteration of the group that we got was not the more famous version.
Yeah, it was the recent.
Yeah, it was a more recent run. Like, and in fairness, MCU has been mostly lifting from stories that are post like 2000, 2 or something like
I
that, you know?
think, I mean, Guardians 1, I think its success was a shock to everybody. The people, I mean, even when you're making a movie like that, you don't really know what it is. You know, it's
Mhm.
good, but you don't know it's uh, $1 billion IP good, right? Like there's
Yeah,
when
yeah, yeah.
it's hitting some serious levels, it changes things.
Yeah, I as a fan of James Gunn before that movie, I knew it was gonna be good. I never could have imagined it would have hit the heights that it hit, you know? Um,
Kids just know what a Groot is. That's kind
and
of
a
cool.
Rocket.
And a rocket.
Rocket and Groot are household names after the first movie. So, this movie had a lot of pressure to deliver, right? This
They
movie had a lot of pressure.
stitchified uh, Baby Groot.
Yeah, but would you agree that this movie had a lot of pressure going in to live up to the expectations set by the first one, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So with that said, when we were talking earlier about I'm saying that this is the first movie because remember the movie before this was Doctor Strange. Um I like Doctor Strange 1. I don't think it's a banger. I think it's a
Black Phone director Scott Derrickson.
I know. I know. I think it's one of Scott Derrickson's worst movies. Okay, just to be clear. And I just talked about a movie where there's no murder in a horror movie, um, in a supernatural horror movie with a serial killer ghost. I still think that Doctor Strange, the first one, is fun. I do think it's a fun movie. I think it has some cool elements. I think, we've all talked. I did the show with Travis without you because you were sick that day.
Yeah.
So we already did that conversation.
I
But
mean, it sets us up to have the best Doctor Strange.
yeah, and
In
it also does more lifting of the idea of the multiverse and
Mhm.
just like
Yeah.
Ant-Man kind of started that
It does. It's like
conversation.
it's a passing grade.
Yeah, it's a passing movie for sure. But what I think is I think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is the first in a series of amazing theatrical experiences that actually still age pretty well. Like when I watch these, like I have watched Guardians Volume 2 way too many times at home. And I love it every time I watch it. Now this is the first time I've watched it in maybe a couple years. But I still really truly love this movie to the point where it's probably in my top 5. Like I think I've listed it in my top 5 before. I think this is one of the best movies that the MCU has ever made. And I think it's because it takes everything that the first movie established and it gives you more, and it gives you, instead of like the first movie is about these characters coming together to fight a threat, like even though they shouldn't be
Mhm.
they sh- excuse me, they shouldn't be a
The
team.
power of friendship.
They shouldn't be a team, right? But
Mhm.
now we've gone past the power of friendship. Now we're the power of family, right? And I think they have an amazing family dynamic in this movie, like all of these characters. And it's also about Peter like learning more about his family history. And I think that like as villains go in the MCU, um, I think Kurt Russell as Ego is fantastic. I think he's one of the better Marvel villains because he's super charming, right? And like, he, like the first hint should have been his name's Ego, right? Like the first hint should have been that. But
Mhm.
the fact that like he really does think that everything he's doing is cool. It's cool. Like he's like, trust me, it's all gonna be great. Like, you just let me take over every planet with my little plants, and we're gonna have a blast. Like, or at least I'm gonna have a blast. You know what I mean? Like that's like, but the way he sells it through this whole movie with so much charm, um, like the way only Kurt Russell could, with a little help from David Hasselhoff, along the way. I think he just makes for this amazing villain that I always enjoy watching every time I put this movie on. But I think the thing I've thoroughly underestimated until now because now we have the third movie also, right? And we
Mhm.
like, for anybody watching these in our playlist that we're creating, like, apologies, because we are watching these out of order. We have already done a review of Guardians 3, which is also a great movie and also has probably one of the best villains ever in the MCU. But I think that the thing that has made me appreciate the value of Guardians 2 more is Elizabeth Debicki as Aisha is very committed to that role. Granted,
Yeah, like 3 minutes of screen time.
What? She
She's
has
not in it.
she has way more than 3 minutes of screen time. Way more. Way more.
In
She has
Guardians 2?
Yes. Did you
No
not
way.
watch this movie? She has way more than 3 minutes of screen time in this movie.
Way more.
Anyways, I mean, even if it's 6, that's double.
I'm gonna find out.
Yeah, I want you to find out. But I think her character of Aisha, like, she is so committed to that bit. And like, she's the secondary villain, right? In the same way that in the first movie, Yondu's kind of like the secondary villain, right? Like, Yondu's like the comedic villain, while Ronan is the serious villain, right? I think in this movie, Aisha is like the comedic villain, and Ego is the real bad threat, the thing that they have to save the galaxy from, right? But I think watching Aisha throughout this movie, and even in the post credit scene, that she has, and seeing like just how the Guardians kind of drive her a little mad. Like, she goes a little bonkers throughout this movie, like by the end of it. And to see her progression in the third movie is pretty cool. But yeah, I think if you want to talk about, like, all the characters that came back for this one, and like all, and what was added, each one of them got a story arc in their own ways. I mean, obviously Baby Groot is probably just the least developed, which is just he's playing for the kids, right? But like, it's okay that there's this character that's there for
All
the
right,
kids.
I got the number.
What's the number?
3 minutes, 41 seconds.
No way. Who did you ask that number for?
This is Reddit.
Are you serious? 3 minutes and 41 seconds she's in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm impressed then. Consider me incredibly impressed.
Let me double check my sources. Oh no, wrong movie. Yeah,
you're talking about the third movie.
I'm talking about the second movie.
I know, but you're saying what they probably are listing as the third movie, right? The 3 minutes 41 seconds. She's not in a lot.
That's for the second movie.
I thought you were saying
I'm just double checking a different source.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Would you agree, if it is that few, that she does make a huge impression in the movie?
I wouldn't say huge, but she makes an impression. I'm not trying to knock on Elizabeth Debicki. I like Elizabeth Debicki.
Where do you want to go from this, Ricky? Where do you want to go?
I'm just saying you were conflating
it's
a character's
more than 3 minutes.
Screen time. 3 minutes 41 seconds.
Well, I wasn't saying she's like in 40 minutes of the movie. I didn't say that either. I just think that she has as the
screen presence,
as the B villain, she still manages to command the screen every time she's in it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Obviously, Ego, like I said, is the villain of the movie, and he has a ton of time in the movie. And then Yondu is no longer the villain anymore, right? Of the story, he's grown, and he's now like the person's
child trafficker.
I mean, he was a child trafficker. Now he's not.
I do like that he got called out for it too. I was like,
I know, but I think that's part of his growth, right? Is
Mhm.
like he needs to own his mistakes before he can have the cool Viking funeral that he gets at the end of the movie. But yeah, I've been talking while you've been looking up stuff. So why don't you tell me your thoughts on this movie?
I do like this movie. I don't want to like shit on it. I think it coming out of it then and then even going here now, like looking back on it, I don't think it's. I think it's one of the better MC movies. I don't know if it's in my top 5. I think it's better because of the. To your point, the actors that they got in there. This is a really well-rounded cast. I don't feel like it's like, not to shit on Ant-Man and the Wasp, but like Bill Murray had no fucking business being in there. Not Ant-Man, Quantumania.
Oh,
Everyone,
okay. I was like, when is Bill Murray in that movie? But I see.
Bill Murray is in Quantumania.
The third one, yes.
Third one, yeah. Everyone had something to do, even if the parts are little. You know, Sylvester Stallone's in that movie for less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's like a minute in the first part of the movie, and then a minute at the end.
You know, he fits. You need a strong character to play the leader of the Ravagers, right? And like, who else do you get besides Sly Stallone?
Yeah, I think if there's one knock to the Guardians 2 is that it made us believe that a lot of cool things were going to happen in 3 that don't get.
Oh yeah, they set up a ton.
They set up the old school Guardians, right? Like the original like ones, plus just a lot.
I mean,
yeah.
Looking back on it though, like with hindsight, knowing what we know now, it kind of like shits all over, or I guess more or less, the Eternals shits all over what was established as a Celestial in this movie.
No, it doesn't. Because are they called Celestials and Eternals? I can't remember. Yeah. Celestials include other beings. They're not all like that. You know what I mean? Like
I know.
Like Galactus, I believe, is technically a Celestial too, if I remember correctly, or something.
They established that like the Celestials need to they have the seed in the planets, right? And they need intelligent life. And like,
well, now that's to birth a Celestial. That's
but if you have this other Celestial that's like, you know what, I'm just gonna make it a battery instead. Like there's
I mean, yeah, like I get. I don't think
we got 2 pieces of non-connecting Celestial lore that until there's a third piece, we cannot triangulate the.
You also have Nowhere. Nowhere is
that fits more in line with the Eternals, the big robot looking.
But he established it first. Like they're not robots. Like they just
but you know what I'm saying.
I think the idea in Marvel has always been that Ego is a weird anomaly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't mean that he's not a Celestial. He's just different than the ones that we would have met from, because you know, even Nowhere we can tell is not what Ego is. So ego is just a different thing. So I don't think it shits on it. I think it's adding questions that can later be addressed, you know, but yeah, you know, weird fun fact, I guess when James Gunn was writing the plot of this movie, he always had Ego in mind as Star-Lord's dad. And Marvel originally told him they can't use it because technically it was at the time owned by Fox, because it was a Fantastic Four, you know, like all the cosmic stuff was technically Fantastic Four. They had to ride in a very straight line for Guardians of the Galaxy. Like you can only mess with these things, you know what I mean? But James Gunn actually went and asked for permission, and Fox is like, yeah, whatever, we're not going to use him. And so they basically just let them have the use of ego. And I think they did some cool stuff with it, like the idea that ego, because I believe in the comics, ego is just always the planet with the big face on it. You know what I mean? But like in this movie, he found a way. Like I think they did a good job of explaining that first he was a floating brain in space, and then he started flexing things and tweaking things here and sending pulses here, and next thing you know, he's developing a nervous system, and he's developing stuff on a shell on top of that. Next thing you know, he's a planet, and then after that, it was a matter of time before he figured out a way to create extensions of himself. And then eventually those extensions of himself, the ego that we meet, this Kurt Russell, was able to travel to other planets for a limited time, and so when he's explaining all these things to Star-Lord, it's really cool because he's like, but you said you love my mom, why did you leave her? And he's like, oh, well, because, one, I had this mission, like this was my purpose, my life's purpose. And I love your mom. I truly did. I really did. But like the other reason is like I was going to disintegrate if I stayed too long. I had to go back home every now and then, But I visited your mom 3 times. And then, unfortunately, like I knew that if I came a 4th time, I would never leave. And it hurt me to put that tumor in her brain. And I think that is the coolest, saddest, evil villain line ever. Just because you see Star-Lord turn in that moment and say, you did what? And then it just turns into a violent, superhero CG battle for the rest of the movie, right? Like after that. But everything leading up to that was quite abnormal. It wasn't like, it was like a weird.
It takes a weird track, and I think I applaud them for, and that's part of the mystique, right? You don't really know if he's lying in that moment, right? For all we know, he could be just like bullshitting. But they put this idea now where if he isn't lying, like you almost like understand her. You know what I mean?
Right. I always assume he's telling the truth in that.
Just because if you two things can be true, right? You can love someone but then have to kill them. Like I'm trying to think how I can word this right, but
from the perspective of a living planet that's been in this universe for billions of years and is named literally ego. Yes, I could understand.
It's very like Dr. Manhattan-y.
Kinda, yeah. He even reassembles himself like Dr. Manhattan at a certain point in the movie after they completely like drive a vehicle into him and stuff. Yeah, no, like I think that's the cool part about like, so I mean, we can agree, right? Like the best Marvel villains that we've experienced in this long, nearly 20-year journey are the ones that the writers get us to understand their perspective. We don't have to agree with them, right? Like I think the beauty of Killmonger and Thanos is like a lot of people are like, I kind of see their point, like I kind of agree with them, you know what I mean? But I think we all agree Thanos and Killmonger are like top tier, right? Like they're like 2 of the best that we've ever had. But let's be real, like they don't all have to be relatable. We just have to understand them, right? And I think the ego nails it. I think in the same way that Yondu is a very understandable character, right? Like in the first and second movie. And I think that's kind of James Gunn's real strong suit is he takes characters that you shouldn't like and you find something likable about them, right? Like, I mean, I guess that's kind of like all of his characters really, with the exception of Superman, right? You're just supposed to like Superman. Like,
I mean, he makes you not like him, so then you can like him.
Yeah, he breaks him down and then builds him back up. So yeah, I think you get it. We're on the same page here. Ego's just you can understand him.
I like Kurt Russell.
I mean, who doesn't? Like, and that's what makes it even harder, right? Because you understand him, but then you also like Kurt Russell. and you're like, are you right? And then you see what he starts doing and destroying Dairy Queens, and you're like, oh, okay, he's a jerk. He's a jerk. He's a jerk. He's a bad guy. They got to kill him. It's okay, and you're fine with it.
Another Wonder Man cameo in that movie as well.
There's a movie poster, right, with Nathan Fillion as I always forget where it is. Where is it? Is it on Earth when the?
Yeah, it's on the theater. And whatever little
Yeah, but then I know we're going a little over, but I just want to make sure I hit all the points in this one. I think that Rocket and Yondu have one of the best scenes in the movie. When Yondu basically tells him, we're the same, you and me, we're the same. Like you can posture all you want, but like at the end of the day, you're doing the things you do because you care about these people. You can say it's for all these other reasons. I don't care what you say, boy. I understand you. You and me, we're the same. And that's hard for Rocket to hear because, like, I mean, he's pretty insane in the first movie, right? Like he's I mean, and you can't blame him, right? Like knowing what we know now about his origins, like he doesn't even know what a raccoon is, like, for the first several movies. So I don't blame him for being insane in the first movie, but I really do appreciate in the second movie, he's like a person who has experienced so much trauma that doesn't really know how to process it yet, right? And it manifests in a lot of really destructive ways, right? Like he wants to like challenge Peter at every moment, even when it's life or death. He wants to steal things from the sovereign when they explicitly have been told that that's a very bad idea, right? He just constantly gets themselves into trouble because he just thinks that, he's done everything on his own for as long as he has, and he's been fine. So like nobody knows better than he does. But I think he has a very humbling moment with Yondu that comes full circle at the end of the movie after Yondu's dead. And he realizes that, like, he has an opportunity to have a family that Yondu kept at arm's length for a long time. And so it's a beautiful thing to see that. I also think the family dynamic between Nebula and Gamora in this movie is the best it's ever going to be, honestly, right? Because it's sad watching this one, knowing what happens to Gamora like shortly after this. Like we don't get much more of this Gamora, right? Like
you get one more movie.
Yeah, you get one more movie, and it goes in a way that most people did not see it going, right? So you get the most sisterly love you're gonna get out of her and Nebula in this movie, but they also have like a really ridiculous cartoon fight, like, and it's fun. It's fun to watch Gamora carry like the giant cannon from the crashed spaceship and everything, and just blast her to smithereens. And I really can't help but feel bad for Nebula, who, by the way, as a reminder, my favorite character in the MCU. That character explains why she has a chip on her shoulder, and it's really understandable, right? Like it's like Thanos made Gamora and Nebula fight every day, and when
she lost,
when she'd lose every day, he would rip a piece of her off and replace it with a cybernetic piece. And yet every time this happened to her, Gamora kept winning over and over again, never once considering what it meant to that other person. You know what I mean? And I think I think there's something to that. I can't speak from experience, but I think there's a lot of sibling experiences that can relate to that, right? It's just one sibling feeling inferior to the other, and the other never really acknowledging that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was 100% favorite. So
what's up?
100% favorite siblings.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. I didn't want to step all over your experience. You're the one who would know better than I would. Like,
yeah, as the favorite, I know.
There you go. So, I think that's a really beautiful thing. And then I think we also get a glimpse into Drax, and we get to like see the more personal, like sentimental moments now, because now he's not like completely
I
bloodlusty, right? He's not bloodlusty. So he has some moments that he shares. I know where you're going with this. I know where
yeah.
you're going. I'll let you go there, but I just want to say the moment when he's sitting and looking at the little pond and thinking about his daughter, and Mantis touches his shoulder, and immediately a tear comes out of her eyes because she's so overwhelmed as an empath
Mhm.
by his deep sadness. I think that is one of the most beautiful comic booky emotional moments I've ever seen put to screen. I love it. Now you can say your piece.
Peter Griffin, Patrick Starr, and Drax the Destroyer. Each one of those characters, like in their first season or movie, they're dumb, but they're not silly. And I think you get some really great moments because of that. But I feel like in Guardians 2, the Drax dumb meter went too far to the silly spectrum.
Is it possible that
Mhm.
he has now found his family and no longer has to put up the walls that he did in the first movie?
I think I maybe would have liked to see like a half stop
I
between
know you would have.
dumb and silly.
I love Drax in this movie. I think he is so adorable. Um, didn't he do the whole thing with the Zargnuts in the first movie?
No, the Zargner things is
Or is that Infinity War?
that's Infinity War, yeah.
Is it? Okay, gotcha.
Like I think I prefer him more in Infinity War as like a nice happier medium than this movie.
I think he's happy in a lot of parts of this movie, but I think what makes him so sweet is the pairing with Mantis, right? I think Mantis like just hits it, like knocks it out of the park right when she shows up in this movie, and she is just the sweetest addition to the movie. That honestly also is one of the reasons I prefer the second one to the first, because I don't like watching the Guardians without Mantis. Like she's she's so charming. Yeah. So and then and then there's Peter, like I said, Peter besides with his dad, Peter's also really working stuff out with Gamora, and it's like a slow burn, right? It's a nice slow burn. He hasn't quite gotten the girl yet. And he won't get the girl, but we're still rooting for him in these movies. You know what I mean? At this point in time, so it's
Mhm.
still a very innocent phase of the Guardians of the Galaxy, where they're trying to find what their place is in this wacky family. And I think Gamora sells it when she's the one who first pushes Peter to go follow Ego to learn about his family history. And then later he gives her crap about that. He's like, well, you were the one that told me this, and now I finally found my family. And then she's like, I thought you already had, you know. Um, and that's showing that Gamora is probably the one that was the most solid of all of them at that point in the story, because she was very happy with the family that they had and stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah, I just love this movie, and I know I'll take heat for it, but I love it more than the first one. I really do. So that's where I stand. But I had a blast rewatching this movie. I highly recommend people rewatch it every time they get a chance to, because it's so fun. The music's great, and then also there's a Grandmaster cameo in the credits, which is so random because he doesn't appear for like two more movies for the first time.
Where are they in the credits?
He's one of the little dancing characters in the credits.
Mm,
They actually show Jeff Goldblum as Grandmaster dancing.
they uh, um, they filmed the ride while he did this,
Yes, they did.
and he is also in. He's in that ride. He's not in the ride show, but he's in the is featured like on the walls in the ride.
Oh, really? Okay,
Because he's the
interesting.
collector's brother.
I know that. Yeah,
Mhm.
I know
Yeah,
that. You can
it's
tell by
both
the
of them.
little. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, that's cool. Do you have anything else you wanted to add to this one?
No, it's a fun movie. I'm happy to that we saw it. I'm happy that I don't have to see it again for another couple of years. Is
Which
this
is
a better movie than the next one we're going to see?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is my favorite Guardians? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Yeah.
My least favorite's the holiday special.
Ooh.
But I would say my favorite, I think it's hard to top one, but I would put 1, 3, 2 holiday special.
Damn.
But I think
my only thing is I can't remember how good 3 is because I've only ever watched it once.
3 is pretty good.
I'm afraid of 3 the same way I am of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Both movies were designed to just make you cry. And so I've only seen both of those once ever.
Those movies are now like on like TNT. Like TNT is basically the MCU channel. I don't know if you've noticed this. If you ever browse live TV. So every now and then I'll pop in there and a lot of Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, this movie has some moments.
Yeah, but they're all filled with crying.
Yeah, a lot of death in that movie.
I just get weirded out by movies that like are trying actively to make you cry.
I don't think it's trying. I think it's gratuitous.
I'm not gonna say it's gratuitous, but they are trying.
They're telling a story that involves a lot of crying.
Yes, they are. But okay, fair enough. I respect it. I think we can agree that they're still all 3 Guardians are the best trilogy that we've gotten out of the MCU. Whoa, you're not agreeing, huh? You got a wincing face. You have to think about it. Honorable mention Iron Man, right? Right?
How good is Winter Soldier and Civil War?
I don't think Civil War is a good Captain America movie at all.
But some of the parts. I don't think the Spider-Man trilogy is particularly good. I'll say that. I'll say that in confidence. As a whole,
I think it's very good. I don't think it's better than Guardians. For me, Guardians is unbeatable by the rest of the movies.
It's the most like cohesive story if you were to count them like 1, 2, and 3.
I will say this: there was one plot hole that I caught. I haven't bothered to read up on it to find out, but at one point when Drax comes down, or not Drax, when Yondu and the Ravagers find Rocket and the ship, right, with the Nebula and Groot, and he says it was super easy to find you. I installed a tracking device on your ship back in the day, like when before we fought Ronan. Did that ship not get destroyed and get rebuilt by the Nova Corps and given to them as a gift?
Yeah, it got rebuilt with the tracker.
Okay. I'm just saying, if you're rebuilding somebody's vehicle for them and you happen to see a tracker, wouldn't you be like,
they don't know what it's for?
They're only cops, man. They're only cops.
They're cops who are rebuilding a known criminal.
But you know what? Vehicle. I love that you're defending it. That's because you love them that much. I love it. All right. I'm done for now. This was a great one. I look forward to next week when we do Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yep.
All right. Let's do it.
All right. And with that, true believers,